Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another installment of the Dreamers Live podcast.
Hello and welcome.
Hey, cheers.
So many synonyms.
Happy holidays. It is
Happy
the holiday
Christmas.
season. So hoop-de-doo and dickory-dock.
It's diddly-dee, isn't it?
No, it's hoop-de-doo. I actually looked it up.
Hoop-de-doo and dickory-dock.
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
I don't know where I got diddly-dee.
You may notice, if you are of the viewing persuasion, that we are not in our normal setup. Right behind us, you can see stacks and stacks of books and activity things and colored pencils and crayons and all kinds of things. Why do we have such things around us?
One of our Dreamers community projects we do every year is we create 100 gift packs for area kids in need that may have a light Christmas or occasionally nothing at all. And
Right.
so we all come together and we raise funds, we get together, we wrap the packages, and we give them anonymously at local elementary schools. And anyway, we're excited. Tomorrow night's our packing night. Am I saying that?
Many
so
of
we're
you,
all organized.
yeah, many of you are part of that. Either you give contributions that helps us buy the books, or you help us do the wrapping or
Or help us
whatever.
shop. Yeah,
or
we
help us do the
appreciate
shop.
it.
It's a full contact event, and we're really grateful that we get to do that. But
Yes, before that.
This is a podcast, and we had what I think is a really great idea.
Okay.
So let's do a podcast that's a little different than what we normally do. We did a thing probably a year or two ago.
Yeah, something like
and
that.
it was our holiday edition of the Dreamers Live event, in which we gave the holiday survival guide, how not to kill a family member during Christmas.
Yeah, still some really good tips in there.
Yeah.
I probably should review it myself.
It was a funny night, and we thought you might enjoy it too. So we're going to bring that. If you've never been to a Dreamers Live event, this is probably a great way to see what that experience is like, what the flavor of that is.
Yeah, for sure. I remember this night was a fun night. It was near the holidays, obviously.
Yes.
And so you had created a list of some things you can do to try to stay at peace with your family, friends, and those you love during the season. So,
it must be good stuff because we're still together.
I mean, it's yet to be seen. It's still the middle of the season.
Speaking of touch and go, here's our survival guide, the holiday survival guide. Take a look at it. We'll be right back after it's done.
Thank you very much. I just was thinking this morning about what a weird season this is. I think we've been caught up in midterms and politics and failing football seasons for some of us. And somehow in that whole process, it's like the holidays were sneaking in and no one even noticed. And so it's, I know that it's the holiday season. We're only 2 weeks and a couple of holiday shows away from Thanksgiving, less than 2 weeks now. And I know it's the holiday season because back in September, I went to Lowe's. And in Lowe's, they had a giant inflatable display that had pumpkins, turkeys, and a couple of interracial Santas. And they called it, I think they were referring to it as their challah giving us. And I wanted to tell Morris about it because the black Santa looked a little bit like Harry Belafonte. So he pressed his hand and he said, "Day ho ho ho." Yeah, that's smart. Thank you. They did a great job with it. So, how many people here are big in the holidays? Is anybody in the holiday mood already? These people are big in the holidays back here. Anybody else big in the holidays? Yes. Oh gosh, yes, sorta, kinda. How many people have holiday apparel, like for every given holiday? I know a couple of you. So. Yes. Judy is very festive, and she probably. Do you have a glitter turkey or sequin turkey of some kind? Yes, I thought so. Or does anybody here have like the white turtleneck with the cornucopia or little cornucopias or turkeys on it? The dickies? Yeah. Yes, what do you
I'm
have?
just curious if I'm perhaps might be the only person that has a Groundhog Day shirt. Wow.
Does anybody else have a Groundhog Day shirt?
That's what I'm talking about.
That is a true extension of the holiday season. It's not just Halloween. It's way back to Groundhog. That's the whole holiday season.
You really need us to celebrate your name.
Yes, she does. Yeah, she's not afraid to wear it. Yeah, we wore that shirt out. So let's see. How many people? Let's ask this thing about Christmas trees. How many people do live Christmas trees? Live Christmas trees? Fire hazards right here. How many people do fake Christmas trees? Okay. Now, if you have at least one, if you put up at least one Christmas tree this season, hold your hand up. At least one Christmas tree. No, that you intend to put up. On a traditional season, you put up at least one Christmas tree. Wow, I'm surprised. That's great. Okay, keep your hands up. How many of those people that have hands up have 2 Christmas trees? 3 Christmas trees? 4 Christmas trees? 5 Christmas trees? 6 Christmas. These are sick people. These people need 7, 8. Okay, yeah, that's too many. That's. If you will read your Bible, you will see that Jesus said 1 tree. You're only supposed to have 1 Christmas tree. Yeah, that's what Jesus said. So, I'm sorry about the rest of you guys. How many of you guys does anybody kind of get really anxious around the holiday season? You kind of lose your mind a little bit? Yes, right. Okay. Yes.
How many people visit before?
Oh my gosh. How many people break the golden rule and put their Christmas tree up before Thanksgiving? Wait a minute.
So I celebrate Dia de los Muertos, and I use it as my ofrenda and put the family pictures on it.
Who else over here? I saw some hands. Yes. Okay. Wow. Renee, I'm kind of surprised. I thought I knew you. Yours now? Yeah. Oh my God. You're not one of the Christmas tree people that has it crossed it over called a Valentine's tree, are you? Well, we thought it might be helpful to give you a couple of tips, a couple of things that you can do to maybe survive the holiday season without killing loved ones, because 4 out of 5 Yuletide deaths happen during Christmas season. So these are a couple of things just to keep in mind, and you don't have to use them all. You can use some of them. You probably have some of your own, and it's okay. The very first thing you can do as a holiday tip is literally forget every Christmas movie you've ever seen, ever, that has this theme. If we all work together, this could be the best Christmas ever. Maybe not. Maybe it won't be. This is the tip we like to call managed expectations. So, take all your expectations, will them way down. Anjanette's late grandfather, Joe Bob Gale, was famous for announcing every year at the Christmas gift exchange, if you don't expect anything, you won't be disappointed. And as grim as that sounds, it's actually true. So, if you want the fastest ticket to Disappointmentville, start with a whole lot of expectations for Christmas and your family. And then, if you really want to get your ticket punched twice, make a list of those expectations, but then don't tell anybody about it. And then just watch the failure mount. So, lowered expectations. You know, every year, researchers spend thousands of hours trying to find the happiest people on the planet. And you know who they are? Not us. So, in America, we believe that we can be anything, do anything, have anything, and not only that, we deserve it. And but in other countries, what's that? Amen. But in other countries, they have managed expectations. And so when you have basic expectations, when you have general expectations, then when things exceed those expectations, you're incredibly grateful. And that's an amazing quality. So lowering the expectations, and then that brings us to gratitude. Gratitude is the second tip. So I want to challenge each of us this year, this season, to do this one thing. We've already started my family because we're holy. In your family, this is my wife back here, she's holy, she knows.
I'm the one laughing about.
Every day of this holiday season, without fail, find one thing that you are legitimately grateful for. It doesn't have to be big. It could be the cup of coffee, could be living in a warm house, could be a car, could be the family you live with, any of those things. That one thing that day you are exceptionally grateful for. And then tell someone. Don't just keep it to yourself and unannounced. Say it out loud to somebody else. You might do it at breakfast with your family. You might do it at lunch with friends. You might do it at dinner time. Whenever, wherever that is. But one thing each day that you are legitimately grateful for. And then announce that thing. All right? Yes, Renee.
Find a stranger and be grateful for that person.
Renee said, find a stranger and be grateful for that person. And then go and tell them, hey, I've been watching you for like 30 minutes. While you were going up and down the aisles. And I was going to say, I'm grateful for you. And I like the way you walk. So, yes. You know, the other weird thing about the holidays is you take a bunch of people that you haven't seen in a year, you shove them in a room, and then you say, now, go make conversation, and see how that goes. And so conversation is awkward. It's difficult because a lot of those people are our family, and that's the only reason we're seeing them, is because we have to. These are the people that belch like it's a greeting, or they talk about your childhood trauma as a joke, or all those kind of things. So it can be very difficult to talk to the humans, right? And so I'm going to give you 2 things you can do in conversation that might help. They're not foolproof, but they can help. And so the first one is, and what's great about both of these tips is they require us to talk about ourselves, and for most of us, that's fantastic. So the first thing you can do is ask someone who's difficult to talk to about their memories about Christmas. What was it like growing up as a kid for you? Did you guys make Christmas a big deal? What was it like in your family for Christmas? What's one gift that really stands out to you when you were a kid? And it gets them talking about Christmas. The beautiful thing about it is that most of us have a past. So there's a big well that we can draw from, right? The other thing you can do, and this requires a little bit more from us, and we've talked about this principle before, is the see it and say it principle. So the see it and say it principle is you see somebody and you see something good in them. This is particularly helpful for the person you would like to vote off your holiday island if you could, right? The person you don't like, is the person that you have nothing in common with. You meet them and have the conversation. Still work at the refinery? Yep. You still unemployed? I work for a nonprofit. Same thing. I'm gonna get some eggnog. You want some? Nope, I'm against Big Egg. Okay. I will be back never. And so those people are difficult to talk to, but when you look into that person and you find something good about them, and then you acknowledge it to them, it brings their walls down and it gets you a conversation started. So, hey, you made your whole living being an accountant. Were you always good at math? Was that something you did? When did you first know you were good at this stuff? Did you do this at school? Was that, you really know how to use the whole deer with a murder. Did you grow up hunting? I had one who was out buying, you're generally a jackass. Who hurt you when you were a kid? Don't use that one. That's a different speech. That's a different speech. But you get the principle. Even the person you don't like the most has something about them that you can identify that it's a positive. They're loyal, they're frugal, they're not a slave to fashion, whatever that thing is. And you can't find a way to suggest that to them or to compliment them. And it brings the defenses way down. It brings disarmament. It's great that way. So that's what I encourage you. So try both of those. See how they work. It does help. Okay. Last 2. You can take notes of this. This is something my wife is particularly good at, but we like to call this getting on the same page. Everybody has different expectations, there's that word again, for the holiday season, right? Different wants, different plans, different expectations. Get on the same page. If you're going to spend the holidays with somebody else, family, a significant other, your parole officer, whoever it is, get on the same page with them about what your expectations or plans are for the holidays. And try and find a way to meet in the middle. Planning is not to have them come to your side or to see things the way you see them, but to find some way that you can meet in the middle and have some compromise. Compromise might be the biggest gift you can give in the holiday season, and it's a difficult gift to give. So find a way to do that. Find a way to get on the same page. There are some people that can earn it all night long, and there's some people who can't. There are some people who want to binge listen to Mariah Carey and get the bacon going and leave the front door open and just welcome the humanity all day long. Nonsense, I just got goosebumps, not in a good way. I can't do that. My wife has a much greater tolerance for humanity than I do. But we do have conversations and we talk about it. Sometimes I just need to know what the time parameters are when we go to a place. How long are we going to be there? And if it's 3 hours, it's 3 hours, but at least I know it's not open-ended. I don't need to bring a sleeping bag. We're not going to camp. I just need to know for myself, and I can breathe, we're going to be there for this long, and at that time, we're all going to pack and go. And I think, okay, I can do that. So get together on the same page and stuff like that. Okay, last thing, and this is one of my favorites. So I call this principle or this tip white space. White space. In advertising, white space is the thing you put around the object of focus, right? You want to sell a car, you don't build around the car so you can't see the car. You create white space so your eye goes to that thing. There's a lot of things to focus on during the holiday season, but you need white space to appreciate it. If you wear the crap out of each other in the process, you don't take anything on it, right? So you create white space. White space to me is that time for reflection. It's the quiet moments you take. It's the time in the morning or 30 minutes before dinner, or at night when everybody goes to bed, or in the Walmart parking lot on the west side where there's fewer traffic. You just sit still for a minute. Think about something that's happening. Maybe read something. Maybe reflect on something. Just breathe deep. And in that moment, you get to kind of detox a little bit. And then that gives you a greater capacity to enjoy the other moments of focus in the process.
Well, that was a pretty good list, even if I do say so myself.
I do like the list. There's a
Yeah.
lot of good things in there.
What was your favorite thing on the list this year?
I kind of think, especially at the holidays, the concept of seeing things that you appreciate someone else doing
Yeah.
or being grateful for and then saying them out of our mouths is really important. We all get in such a
Well,
hustle and bustle.
And it is a cheat. I mean, if you
Yeah.
can't make conversation, we're all going to be in a room full of people that we don't really know that well,
Yeah.
or maybe don't really want to be in a room with.
Maybe we do know them that well. We don't want
That's
to be
the
in a room with them.
problem,
And
yeah.
likewise, I'm sure, right?
And so finding something that they're good at and asking them about it is kind of an easy conversation cheat.
Yeah,
And,
it is good. Yeah,
makes it
and
easy for
finding
us to-
some way to make them feel better about themselves immediately can disarm any small talk weirdness that
Yes,
happens. So you
right.
just go right for it, say something positive, and it'll help. I'm
Yes,
glad
it will.
that's a good reminder. I'm gonna
That and
keep
then
that in.
finding one thing every day that you can be grateful for. I mean, the season can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
And like we talked about in the list,
Yeah.
creating white space and having some quiet and doing that kind of thing is really, really important so you don't get overwhelmed in a season.
Yeah.
But within that quiet, finding one thing every day that you can be thankful
Yeah.
for, grateful for, and then telling someone, whatever that is.
It's important. I actually had to do that twice today.
Yeah.
This morning was just, we were kind of in the middle of a week and there's a lot going on. And it's good stuff that we want to do, but it's that hectic feeling
Yes.
where you just get the crazy eye, your brain's overloaded. So I had started the day by trying to kind of meditate and be quiet and reflect. And then we had our morning, getting our middle
Yes,
schooler out
yes,
the
yes, yes,
door. And she's a precious one.
Yeah.
And then
Crazy does not take a break on the holiday,
it
friends.
does not.
All right, then.
And so then after everyone left, I was like, I'm going to do that again.
Yeah.
It was like a redo.
Center it up.
Yeah, but it helped reset the tone for the day so that hopefully I'm not adding to the madness. I'm
Yeah.
going to try to bring some festive joy.
Well, I was telling somebody about this principle the other day about the idea of this thing about getting on the same page with people and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. You approach the holidays in a very different way than I do. So for
I
you,
approach it
is
aggressively.
literally the more the merrier.
Oh, yeah.
So just fling open the door, go to all the parties, crank the music all the time, and I do not share that.
You do not?
I do not. And so for me, having some quiet time is important, but then
Yeah.
also knowing some parameters. Like my mind works in such a way that if something is completely open-ended, that's a little freak out for me.
Sure.
So if we're going to a place and a festivity and an event,
Yeah.
sometimes knowing how long we're going to be there, ballpark, helps me say,
Yeah.
oh, okay, we're going to be there for 3 days. I can live for 3
Yeah,
days.
and that's something that I've learned about you.
Yeah.
And usually what's funny is, like, if we're going to a party and in our mind I'm like, hey, what do you say we leave around 7?
Right.
And then you'll be like, okay, cool. And then I know that just in you having that out, you're probably going to end up wanting to stay a little bit longer.
Yeah, but it
Maybe
gives
not.
me some parameters to work within, and then I feel much more comfortable in the process.
I like that. That's a good thing. I
Yeah.
think so much of the holidays, like, we talked about in the survival guide, et cetera, is trying to know what the other people in your family or in your group
Yes.
need. That's
Right.
different for each person.
Right.
And be reminded. I know that I'm going to need some downtime at the
yes.
end of a marathon.
Well, the
you
main
know?
thing is to make the list of expectations, but then don't tell anybody about it. So when so they can fail easily.
It's
And-
good to
yeah.
quietly disappoint someone.
Oh man, I thought they were going to give me X, Y, or Z. I thought they'd want to spend every day with me.
That's right.
Yeah. So do you have any other expectations for the holidays before speaking of expectations?
Well, I'm not going to say anything because if I don't tell you, then
I
you can
disappoint
quietly
easily.
disappoint
Yes,
me.
Right. Well, friends, we do love you. If you are in town, we are doing a Dreamers Live event on the 19th at
yeah.
Crossing 2nd, and
Christmas tales.
it's our very special storytellers. This is the third year for us to do this annual event. We do a storytellers event. This one happens to be Christmas themed. We have 5 storytellers.
Yes.
They get 5 minutes apiece, no notes, and it has to be based roughly on a true story from your Christmas past. And it's usually funny and heartwarming and all that stuff. So we'll be there.
It's one of my favorite nights of
Yeah.
the year for sure. And I'm excited because everybody has funny Christmas stories.
Yes.
So we haven't done the Christmas tales yet. So this will be
is
a
gonna
good
be very
time.
good.
And hopefully we'll get people remembering some of their fond memories.
There is
so.
a Christmas gift you could give us right now.
What is-
if you would
what
go
is
to the
that?
little share button
Oh,
and you
right.
can copy the code for this little podcast, this episode, and share it to someone you think might appreciate it. We would love that. We want to meet new people. We want
Yeah.
to share this, want it to grow. And so that is a Christmas gift you can give to us.
Yes, and
And I
cash
will-
and gift cards
yeah,
too.
and so just let me know, say thank you for that Christmas gift. We appreciate it.
That's one of my favorite lines in the Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yeah.
Is when Sally, my favorite little character,
Yes.
what would you like? Cash and gift cards, please.
Right. I never get what I want for Christmas.
That's right.
Real estate. Yeah, right. Hey, friends, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and all the very, very best to you. We will see you soon again, and we thank you for joining us on another Dreamers Live podcast. Please share this podcast with your friends. Please employ one of these little things from the survival guide. You don't have to do all of them, but there's probably one thing in that list that spoke to you. So try it out. Do it today and see how your holidays are better. And in the meantime, we will see you very soon.
Yes, and Merry Christmas. Enjoy
Peace out.
the season.
Yeah.